All right, good morning. Welcome back. This is you and Fred Open My Podcast. This is where we bring you the reality of the reality. We bring you the best of the best. Yeah. All right. So it's already episode 4. Exciting. You know, today we have a very interesting topic. This topic today is something that I think every one of us experience, and we are so excited to discuss it today. And more interestingly, today we have a guest on the show who will be joining us in this all important discussion. So I am your host, Jusu, and Afra, who will be co-hosting the show today along with me. We are excited to bring the show to you live on YouTube and Instagram. So once again, we want to say welcome, audience, wherever you are joining from. We want to say welcome to the Jew and Fred Open My Podcast Talk Show. Um, just before we bring in our guest, I want to say Merry Christmas to you all, wherever you are joining us this morning. It's exciting that Christmas is already over, and now we are moving towards the New Year. So that's great. So, Merry Christmas wherever you are, and a Happy New Year. Hey, Afra, you want to say hi to the audience this morning, just before we bring in our guest? Afra, we cannot hear you. All right, yeah, we can hear you, Afra. Yeah. So while Afra try to get his mic set up, we can hear you still. Not yet, Afra. All right. So we're gonna get Afra a minute to sort things out back there. Um, but not to waste your time, and I know our guest is patiently waiting. You know, to get this ball rolling this morning. Um, and it's exciting that today we're gonna be discussing this all important topic with our own friend and brother. Um, I call him my own big brother. Okay, uh, just so you guys can know. Um, I'm not gonna introduce this man. I'm gonna hand the mic over to him to introduce himself, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about himself. And after that, we're gonna get it going. So let me turn it over to you, Sonny, so you can introduce yourself for our audience.
Well, thank you. Firstly, let me appreciate you, Jude and Fred, for inviting me on your open mic. I think you guys are actually doing an amazing job discussing some relevant issues as relating to our today's society. Um, and I also want to extend a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to the audience of Open Mic. I think this is I'm excited to be on the last episode of the year, episode 4. I'm not sure whether you guys gonna have another one, but we know that of course the year the year is gonna be ending next week. So it's a pleasure for me. It's a great opportunity to share your platform as to address this very important topic. My name is Johannes Sunday from Liberia. Been here a couple of years now in the US. You know, there's a lot more about me, musicians and stuff like that. Stay in college, trying to grab some degrees, and add to the to whatever we have going on in our lives. But well, I'm a father, I'm a family man, and I'm also just a hustler and a hardworking individual. But like I said again, thank you for inviting me, and I can't wait, for us to move forward to, put the information out there for today.
Yeah, I know. I love that last part you said. I'm a hustler. That's what it is, man. We
Right,
gotta
right.
keep hustling, bro. Yeah, it's exciting, it's exciting that today we're gonna be talking about this all important
Right,
topic, Um I don't know, for some reason I've just been, going through some research materials last night, about this topic, and I think this is something that very, very much resonate with um a lot of us, and I would say a majority. Um but I don't know, but hopefully we can get some message out there. We can
right,
get
right,
some tips out there to our audience, and hopefully that our audience also can follow along with us today. Again, feel free to put in your comments. We want to encourage you guys to please, you know, uh, put in your comments, and we will be so excited to read off your comments. So that other people can know that you know people are following, and again they are agreeing, or they have something to say about what we are discussing today. Um, I don't know, Alfred, if you are up and ready to go, but for some reason, not yet. Oh my God. Yeah, Alfred, not yet. For some reason, I don't know. Um, but yeah, keep trying to get yourself settled in while we get this going. We started a little bit late. And it was all due to the technical difficulties that we have been facing. But at least at last we are here, and I'm excited today that we have, you know, our own friend and brother today on the show to join us in this all important discussion.
right.
So let's kick it off this way. Um the issue of fear and failure. I don't know, for some reason, um many of us have for fear. We have a fear when it comes to failure. We have this tendency that failures are obstacles. Failure brings negativity, like it poses a negative feedbacks, and sometimes many of us, whenever we go through that stage of life, or something that we more passionate or involved in, and for some reason it does not work out, and maybe due to something we fail into that particular thing. Maybe, let's say, for example, you are carrying on a particular task, and you fail in the process of um implementing that task. You get that negative feedback, that negative energy, that sometimes you try to look down on yourself, and you know you feel downhearted, and things like that. So I don't know. I know we all have a lot of things to say when it comes to breaking free from failure, or from the fear of failure. But just
Right.
before okay, yeah, after, I think we can hear you. Yeah, okay. So just before we start to go through the various segments that we have, and also some of the tips that we want to provide, um, let me ask you first, Alfred, and then maybe I'll go over to Sunday. Um, what do you have to say, about this topic today? What is your take on this topic today, Alfred?
So I think, let me know if you guys can hear me good.
Yeah, your mic is kind of a little bit terrible, but we can manage.
All right,
Okay, I think it's much better.
it's better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're good, Alfred. So first of all, most of the time, it like we discussed, we always say that at this show, on this show, we are experts at our experiences, right? So we might not be experts at the topic, but therefore we are experts at our experiences. Um, we have identified that most people do identify with this topic because everyone
do have fear. Even to get started with something, for example, if before we even get started with this stuff, this thing that we're doing right now, we there was a little bit of fear there. What we would have been perceived out there, what other would think of us, and just getting started. But we decided to take the courage, anyways. We decided to break from that fear, right? So that was our experiences. We all have our personal experiences, even before taking choosing a major, going to college. Everyone do struggle with that fear. Imagine just walking to a class and then you see the professor on the board writing, and the first thing that goes to your mind is,
Yeah.
the assignments I'm gonna get, the am I gonna get A's? Am I gonna get F? You know, there are always constant battle of fear. So I
Right.
guess so, we have this under a line of reasoning decided to speak to that topic today, um, to to motivate our audience out there to get started. Everyone wants to start right now to do something, if it's whether it's a business or to push on an idea. But the first thing that always hold people down is some kind of doubt, and that doubt is considered fear, right? It's always considered fear, and people are afraid to start. So that's what I think about that.
Yeah, yeah, exciting. Yeah, for sure. I mean, fear is something that is, I think is like, it's like an internal tendency. It's built into every one of us. For some reason, no matter how hard sometimes you try, man, like
Right.
that it will just happen like automatically. So, just let's hear from you, Sonny. What do you have to say about this
Well,
topic
like I said,
today?
thank you, Jusu, Mr. Robert. Like I said earlier, I think one of the things that we want to understand here is what is fear. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? A lot of times we use the word fear, people, oh, I'm afraid, or, I have some fear, or I can't do this. But
right,
we don't understand, when somebody asks, like, what is fear? Like, we don't really understand the dynamic of that word, but we sometimes just say it because of a moment. And I
right.
think it's important to understand the reason is because fear is an emotion. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? It's an
Right,
unpleasant emotion. You feel within yourself, even though there is nothing physically blocking you from moving forward, whatever you want to do, but there is that feelings. And nobody's
yeah.
saying no, don't go forward. But the feeling
Right,
is there, the emotions is there. Like it's so unpleasant that you think in your mind that if I do this, people gonna say this about me. And if I move forward,
exactly.
people are gonna think like this about me. So that emotion has been created in your mind and send a signal
Right.
to your body. And now it become an action. You know what I'm saying? Because even the act of not
Right.
doing anything at
Mm,
all is
mm,
somewhere an action. You're taking an action to avoid the things that are necessary, need to be done. So when you
right.
have that emotions, it stops you.
Exactly.
You have that feeling, that thought is there, like you're thinking about it. You feel within yourself that something bad is going to happen, something unpleasant is going to occur
Yeah.
if you do this or do that. So I think that's one thing I want us to really put out there so the audience can understand that, hey, so all this why I'm just feeling like that. Nothing really happened. Nobody said anything to
Hmm.
me. Nobody has said no. But I just think if I asked Jusu
Right.
for 500 right now to start a business, he would think like this about me. I'm afraid, that he would think that, he would look down on me. That unpleasant trait of thoughts will
Yeah.
develop to keep you stagnated. So that's why, that when I think when you guys send me the topic about fear and failure, it kind of resonates. And I'm like, okay, what does the words have in common? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? What does the words have in common? You are afraid to move forward, and that's why a lot of people fail to achieve a lot of things,
Mm,
that are meant to
right.
be achieved. in your life. You know, I know there's still more to talk about concerning this topic. I'm just gonna stop here and allow you guys to come in with some chips.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I think it's exciting. Like I said, everyone is gonna be it's gonna be a very interesting topic discussion today because just like you said, fear is something that derives from your emotion, which um 100% it is true, and also connecting it to failure. Having a fear is another aspect of life by itself. It's another experience that we human have, and then the failure aspect too comes into play. So now you're not just having a fear, but you have your fear of failure. And to be honest, sometimes failure can be terrifying. You know,
Mm,
um,
mm,
like whether it's from the fear of judgment or disappointment. Let's say, like you said, as you were saying that you might have in your mind that, oh, okay, maybe if I ask Juicy for this thing, he's gonna think otherwise about me. Not on the contrary, thinking that maybe I might respond in a positive way, but because of that emotion of that, because
right,
of that fear that you already derived from within yourself, you're already I mean, you already made a whole situation hard for yourself right there. Like, okay, if I go about engaging this guy about this thing, he's not gonna respond in a positive way, or he's not gonna do it. So sometimes, um, it derived from the unknown and it derived from the known. Because let's say what I mean by that is, if you have had an experience before where you um let's say for instance you interacted with me before about something and I let you down on it, you have that register within your mind already. So whenever a need arrive for you to get or for you to try to engage, with me again concerning another thing, you have that negative, stereotype in your mind that if I ask this guy again, I know you're gonna say no because previously
right,
I
right.
asked him and he said no. You understand? So right, so it happens like that. But then the big question come in again. Why do we fear because failure? We are looking at we looking at the fear part, also we looking at the failure part. But the key words today we're looking at for this discussion today is fear and failure. So why do we fear failure? Let's go to you, Alfred. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, and I will definitely take my time here to speak and give me signal if you guys can hear me clearly here. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, I think um one I would say most of the time it's an assumption, and most of the time is
Hmm.
how other people gonna perceive or think about us, right?
Hmm.
I'll give you an example. Um, let's say if there were a couple of time in college, wherein certain time, man, financially I was, not, was about to take some midterm, and we haven't completed the prescription yet. But also, I was thinking that, um, what should I do in this situation? Should I just turn my head down and just leave the university, or should I go and talk to them? But again, right there, I was assuming that they're not going to accept whatever thing I'm going to tell them. So, but I take the courage anyways. And when I went to talk to them, I was very much astonished how that they accepted my
Hmm.
request to whatever that I told them. The term of the agreement I told them was that for the next term I'll be able to complete it by then, and they agreed to whatever need that I had at that time. So, and I was like, wow. So sometimes we assume things, right? We assume things and how people were thinking about us, but we really don't know if we don't try. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we get you.
All right. Yeah. So that's why that was my experience there. So far on what we fear, people judgment of us, how people will perceive us. Are we actually going to make progress if we do start? A lot of thoughts, in a moment thought is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, the fear of judgment, like you said, is one key factor that really play in when it comes to why people fear failure. I definitely resonate with you. But before we go any further, let's hear from you, Sonny. What do you have to say about this? Like, why do we fear
Uh,
failure?
I think one of the most I would just buttress to what Alfred was talking about, what people going to say about us, and I think and one more important reason why we fear to fail is because after failure is shame, shame,
Mm, wow.
shame, shame viewed directly with your self-esteem as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For instance, like you
Hmm.
use college. When you go to school, one of the things you don't want to do is to come home with a failing grades after making all the sacrifices and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't mean every other person that passed that subject are smarter or intelligent than you. But the fact that you fail that particular subject and you have to go and redo the subjects, and that would take a period of time to accomplish, there is that shame that comes along knowing the fact that, oh, everybody else did it and I'm left alone. Is it something wrong with me? Then you start to question your intelligence, you start to question your self-esteem, you start to question everything about yourself and think low about yourself. So nobody wants to fail,
Right.
everybody wants to succeed. Because when you succeed, you're proud of yourself. You want to go people, everybody holding and shaking your hands, and people talking about your achievements and all of that. So you want to see yourself in that position, than rather seeing yourself in the position of shame. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys are
Yeah.
associated with the
Right.
Bible. We all here are Christians, so I think our Christian audience will also understand what I want to talk about from the book of Genesis that has to do with Adam and Eve. When God created everything and put man and woman
Right.
in it, right? When after man and woman didn't know that they didn't know that they were naked, but after the disobedience and they went and ate the fruit, the Bible says what? They hid themselves from God because they realized they were naked. What does that mean? It means that it was the first time that men recognized shame. So at the noon of the day, when God came to visit them in the garden, the Bible says that they were nowhere to be found, and God was calling their names. Adam, Eve, where are you? And they said, we are naked. And God said, how did you know that you're naked? You know what I'm saying? So shame will put you in a place of low self-esteem. Shame will make you to hide. Shame will even, be that driving force for you to feel more because you will not even want to try again. There are a lot of people who, from the day they went to college and they failed in one subject, it changed their entire career. They have never, found the courage to pursue that thing anymore because of one subject they feel the shame that it brought to them. There are a lot of things that when you read on the internet, there are a lot of things that has to do with suicide, students killing themselves because of failing grades in
Yeah.
school. And guess what? Why are they killing themselves? It's not because you are doomed to death after you make those stuff, but it is because you are actually ashamed of the results. You are ashamed of the results.
Mm,
So we fear
right.
to fail because Failure is attached to shame. Shame is attached to failure. Nobody wants to be shamed. Nobody wants their self-esteem to be lower because of something that they couldn't achieve. So that's I think that's one issue I just want to address because of shame.
Wow. Yeah. I think you guys have said a lot. But just before I say one or two, let's hear from our audience. So Leo said fail. First Leo said practice make perfect, and then he said fail and get back up and try again. Video games taught me that. Wow. And Sandra said failure
Mhm.
is part of life.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
failure is part of life. And she also said it makes you feel dumb about yourself. So I think everybody's trying to resonate with what you guys are saying,
Right, right.
and I honestly myself, I also resonate with you guys. The fear of judgment is one of the key factor that comes to mind when we ask why do people fear failure, because being judged by people is a very bad experience, to be
Mm,
honest. Um, I mean, in a sense, failure in a sense is not bad, but the stereotypes, the 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 outcome, like the feedbacks you receive from people, that's what makes it to look bad. There are a lot of people in society, and I'm gonna share a few of them. Like for instance, um, let's look at Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team
mm,
only because he couldn't keep up with the game. He had a lot of misses. Um, it was horrible for him in his you know prime. I don't want to say his prime career, but like when he was coming up in the game, you know, and because of that, he had to push himself harder. He had to do more practices and more practices and more practices, to the extent that he became one of the best in the game today. That we can say, oh yes, if you talk about basketball, trust me, you talk about
that's all Michael
your mind will
Jordan,
go on
right?
Michael Jordan. You understand? But
Right,
if
right.
if you just read about how he became, who he ended up becoming at the end of the day, if he was going to keep his mind or focus on, what he experienced when he was coming up, like being caught up from your team, from your high school team, people looking down on him, telling him that he couldn't make it, he should find something else to do. Like basketball was not going to be something that he should look forward to doing. And at the end of the day, he became the best. So
Mm,
now failure is not an issue, but the stereotype, like the feedbacks and all of these things. And and these are some of the things that people fear, because if you fail, obviously people will say something about you.
right,
you
right.
know like people will tell you, oh, look at you, you were all passing around here acting like you the best in doing this. Now yeah, you are. You can't even do anything else again. And also, another thing too that comes to mind, about this, is also the fear of losing control or security. Like sometimes if you feel so insecure about yourself, it sometimes cause you to fail into something. You know, let's say you want to get engaged into something. Let's say for instance, um, like many people that go into relationship, that at the end of the day, you know, the relationship really doesn't go anywhere, because sometimes they carry some sense of insecurity in that relationship. You know, first they don't even trust the person they are with, and at the end of the day, they create an environment where they feel that they are not secure being in that relationship with that person, because let's say maybe the man is someone that is popular. Let's say typical example. A lot of people can say I wanted to date superstar, the athlete. The only reason is because they have some sense of insecurity because they have it in their mind that this person is linking with a lot of people. The person is interacting with a lot of girls, or the person is interacting with a lot of guys. If it's a girl, and they don't want to be in that type of relationship where they feel that that partner is interacting with a lot of people out there. But that is his career, or his or her career. That is what he does for a living, or he or she does for a living. So if you want to go in a relationship with that person, and you want to think that, okay, because with this person, the person should not do this, then you will be creating an insecure environment, and that might cause some level of, you know, you might have a whole lot of fear being in a relationship, and at the end of the day, that relationship might break up. So, you know, again, like you guys said, the fear of judgment, also the fear of, insecurity, it's another factor too that also tie into, what a lot of people fear failure. But again, like we said, failure um is not a bad thing. Let's say typical example, another example, Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times. Bro, I can never imagine what it would take a man to fail 10,000 times to produce something. And at the last 10,001, before he finally got to produce a light bulb. Imagine that. So a typical human being to fail 10,000 times. Imagine how much failures you have to go through, you know?
Not the one,
So
1,000 times enough. 100 times enough. I say something 100 times. 10 times. That's
I said if I thought say already finish, 5 times say you gotta give
five
up.
times. Uh,
You gotta
Right,
give
right.
up. So imagine to go 10,000 times,
you feel you feel a driver
and
license 3 times. You don't want to go back.
you don't even wanna go by the very first.
That's what people say. Like, oh,
You know,
driving is not for me. Because nah, that's not my thing.
right. At the end of the day, that's what they're gonna say.
Yeah, we
I
love
don't
to.
think for me, no need bother myself to do it again. But you know what I mean? Every time you go, you fail. Every time you go, you fail. Every time you go, you fail. You know. So and there's a famous quotation from him. He said, um, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." You see that? So he never capitalized on his failure as an obstacle. He never capitalized on his failure as a way of or pushback, or making him to feel that, you know, um, what he was doing was not worth it. But he used his failure as a steps too, to keep going, as an encouragement to keep doing it, to keep doing it, to keep doing it. And at the end of the day, he was able to produce it. So,
Mm,
sometimes people might just look at the failure aspect of, of their life, or whatever they are going through, as a means of blockage, or not, because you fail into doing this thing mean that you are dumb, or or you as a person, you are a failure. Sometimes you have to use that means to keep trying, to keep from doing whatever you are trying to do. Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to put that out there, but again, like I said, this is a very interesting topic. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to what you guys have said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, we can just share few more points here before we can move to our next discussion on this. And that is like, and which is very important, not just um not just for our audience, especially people from the religious background. Yeah, is people fear failure because they don't know who they are.
mm.
You know, remember Gideon hiding when the when God appeared to him saying, Gideon, do you know who you are? You are a mighty man of valor. Gideon was like, who are you talking to? So
Right,
it's
right.
like, right, many other people, he doubted his ability, he doubted his potential. Gideon was like, men of people that all can be mighty men of valor, born of the wrong client, born in the wrong family. And I mean, he was constantly. I think in our setting today, in our personal lives, we doubt ourselves. We don't believe that we can do anything, because simply because, like we mentioned our first in our first episode, our culture and our society from our belief system. So our belief system need to
Yeah.
be reframed, and this is something
Mm.
that I wish everyone do need to unlearn and relearn certain reform their belief system. You know, um, when I actually discovered who I was, and that people opinion really don't matter to me anymore. You know, if you actually
Mm.
discover who and know your potential and know what you can do, what you are capable of,
Yeah.
you just kind of go into that into that shadow, into that light. You just kind of like you can really see yourself glowing if you actually decide to move forward and to step out of your comfort zone. You know, and I live my
Right.
life now, and I live my life now on one principle: never fear the unknown.
Mm. Never
So
fear the unknown.
never feel
Wow.
it unknown. You just go into it. But one thing is always important to understand what do you know about the unknown that you actually getting into, but you just step into it, and believe that everyone was born earth here as
Yeah.
a Christ. We from the Christian background, we know that uh, most of the time we don't read the Bible, but if you actually read your Bible, you swear your confidence come from. It's not the aspect of you being arrogant. People would think that you are arrogant if you are confident most of the
Right.
time, but we were created in the image of God, and if we know there is no fear in God, we'll step out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I
that's
think,
that's for true. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sonny.
yeah. So yeah. Actually, you guys are making very very important points. I think this is a lot of things that we don't really talk about, because and
Exactly.
a lot of
Yeah.
people are still stuck to where they've been stuck for the past 5 years, because they have come to that place in their life to believe that this is who I am. And this is the reason
Yeah.
why we are having this
Mm.
conversation, to let you know that this is not that's not who you are. That's what you
Right.
think you are, because of the feeling you have 5 years ago about something that you couldn't achieve.
Mm.
And one thing I want to
Mm-hmm.
put out there is the fact that no amount of money can make you to escape failure. I hope you're getting my point.
Mm.
No amount
Wow.
of money can make you to escape failure. So wherever in life you find yourself, whether you are born of a poor family, born into a rich family, there is something that you want to achieve as an individual that money cannot help
Right.
you. And for you
Yeah.
to be able to achieve that, you have to go through a process. And within that process of learning, there's something called failure you have to encounter. So a lot of people who especially don't have money,
Right.
and
Mm.
there's so much challenges they're facing in their daily life, think that, oh, this is just who I am. I can't do it. I can't make it. I don't think I can move forward. All you just dealing with at that moment is fear. And sometimes
Yeah.
we use other people's experiences to even push us backward more, because like, oh, it happens to Williams. So William went over
Yeah.
there and something happened to his hand. And if I do it, I think worse than that going to happen to me. No, you are just basing
Yeah.
on something they call fear. And that fear is resulting into you being a failure. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. For
it's
sure.
just that,
Mm.
of why people would say, why people would think, sometimes we make too many excuses. But for some of us who play music, and we actually went through something they call self thoughts because we were not able to provide, financially to learn from professionals. The often we
Right.
play the keyboard, you know, you doing one thing over and over, but at the end of the day, maybe for 30 minutes, for 1 hour, you're going to learn one skill. And sometimes you will get confused of blanking that skills
Right.
with whatever songs that come along. But as you practice, and what happens is sometimes you play massive music, like you don't make no good sound, you're making some errors. But at the end of the day, as you continue to play and
Right.
practice and play and practice, you will see yourself resulting into being something that when you touch keyboard, everybody wants you to play. Everybody wants to hear you play. When you don't come
Right.
to church to play,
Mm.
there's something happening because you, from your failure, you start to become a professional without even knowing it. So failure is also a stepping stone for
Exactly.
for learning. It's part of learning. Failure is designed to push you to that place of perfection. Yeah. So I know
Absolutely.
that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. It's designed to push you to that place of perfection, and that's 100% because I think most time people condition their focus on the outcome instead of the process.
Right.
Like what would be the aftermath? If I fail in this thing, bro, just keep doing it. You know what I'm
Stars.
saying? Just keep doing it. Don't forget about the outcome. Just re like Alpha said, we need to recondition our mindset because
Right.
and also
Right. That,
like
that
you
was
said,
good. Right.
because this person did this to fail does not mean that if you do it you're gonna fail. You know, um, try it out. You never know, man. Keep doing it. And sometimes um the fear of failure isn't even about the failure itself, right? It's about what we think it will say about us. you know like probably you want to do something, or you have this particular skill that you want to do, or you have this product that you are trying to make, or let's say you have this product that you want to sell, this product you want to sell. But because you think that if I sell this thing, how many people gonna buy it? Like this thing is too much in the market, like everybody's selling it, everybody get this thing
Right.
everywhere. Your skills or the way you're gonna market your product is different from how other people are marketing that product.
Mm.
That product, I mean. So
Sense. Right.
you don't have to
Right.
defeat yourself. You don't have to defeat yourself before you even start selling it. You know. So go about selling it and see what will be aftermath. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, we can go on and on and on and on and say a lot about this about this point that we have here. Why do people fear failure? But because of time, we want to proceed. We still got a lot of things to talk about. Our audience also, they are following along with us. I think Leo said that the fear of judgment is what lead to fear of failure. Absolutely.
Mm.
Just like what we are saying, the fear of judgment. And Sandra also said the judgment from others even makes you feel worse, which is 100%. So again, you know, there's another one that comes to mind. How fear of failure can limit growth. Hmm. I think this one is
Mm.
huge. This one is huge. So let's hear from you, Alfred. What's your take on this question? How fear of failure can limit growth?
You know, it's very important that we and we said this here that um, if I would spend most of my life here explaining experiences, I would pretty much do it because we all are on earth for a reason. So
Right.
the fear of failure can limit growth in a sense that um, you know you get stuck one place and you don't want to try, right? Okay. Um, let's say you know very well that you um have never been taught how to do something, or you are that one person who people always say negative thing about, you know,
Hmm.
and because of that, that kind of like dim your light and you don't want to come out to spark. You're afraid to try. You're afraid to get started to do something because of how people will perceive you.
Right.
Um, so then the question become: should you keep dimming your light until you are maybe 40 or 60? You know, um, like we said the other episode, like the example that I gave, Sanos from Kentucky Fried Chicken never started frying chicken only at age 60 to 65.
Right. Hmm.
So it's as a youth, as a kid, whenever when we were born, um, we have always been fear because, especially those that are from back home, um, we primarily depend on our family for surviving and to carry on life processes.
Right.
So we cannot break out of that. Whatever zone that we are in. So like we always consult them for anything before we do anything. So if they tell us, say, you can't do this, and then we say, okay, that's
Right.
true. Maybe you might be right about our perceptions. So therefore, you will stay in that. You'll be stuck in that one place until you can actually be able to break away from it. So if you not try,
Right.
if you not try, you wouldn't know what you if you not take the shot, I will call it. If you not take that one shot, you don't know
Right.
if you will succeed or you will fail. So the best chance is to take the shot. So in anything, if you, let's say, in college or school, why not? It doesn't have to be school. Even it could be anything. If you don't take that shot, you will get stuck in that place for decades.
Yeah. So it's just all about being resilient. Yeah.
Right.
Be
Right.
resilient and purposeful. Like, keep pushing no matter what. Let's hear from you, Sonny. Let's hear from you.
Well, yeah. Well, to add to Alfred, the fear of failure can limit your growth. Um, Number one thing will happen is that you're going to be reluctant to try new things. Reluctant to try new things. You'll find the people in this position where because before success there should be growth. You know what I'm saying? And before growth there should be a try. So if
Exactly.
you are afraid
Hmm.
to try all, you are not going to grow. And there are a lot of us who also you'll find that got easily complacent. You only achieve one and you don't want to go forward. You're so satisfied with that position of your life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, as long
Right.
I can get my tea and bread money from here, it's okay. I'm fine here. As long the job can, you know, um, this job I'm doing, I can pay my bill. That's it for me. And you don't
Hmm.
even realize the ability you have to make 200K a year. And you here
Wow.
satisfied with 75, 80K because you are afraid, thinking that, oh, um,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do, I don't want to lose the position I'm in because you have to first be reluctant to try. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
if your growth is going to be limited if you're not trying to to achieve more. You have to get that intensity that, yeah, I want to do this, I can do it. And being able to believe in yourself. A lot of time you find people that have a negative perspective of themselves. That's what we call self-sabotage.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is against you. Nobody is stopping you. But you yourself is so afraid to move, to make that move. Oh, when I leave this
Right.
job, I don't think I really going to be able to. So I'll tell you this story, guys. There was this day, I was in Liberia. The economic back home is very bad. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The economic is very, very terrible. So you realize that unemployment rate is very high, and
Right.
employment rate is low. Where you find 99% of youth are not able to earn yourself a job, regardless of your skills and stuff like that. It's a very harsh economy, right? So, but this day
Right.
I was home early in the morning, day in, day out, home, nowhere to go, no job, nothing to do. You go out there, you spend money, you'll have to spend money that you don't have and get into debt, money that you'll not be able to pay back because there's no job. So every day is like you either stay home and do your norm, and stuff like that. But this day I wake up and
Right.
there was this guy in studio, or just a radio. By the time never really had these podcasts and stuff, things like that. And I heard this guy on the radio early in the morning. He said, "Your life," and I want to say this to somebody who's listening to us right now. Your life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Mm.
That statement, I don't know
Wow.
who said that, but that statement transformed my mindset. And because my mindset
Wow.
was transformed, I was able to see beyond my fear of not trying, even though the economy is hard. But what can I do at this point in time to give me a startup? So it elevated my spirit beyond my self sabotage to make a move. And that move that I made within short time, I started to have a great income, and I started to gain popularity, and I started to see myself engaging into things, that bring out the best in me. Something I didn't even realize. All because somebody spoke a word that when you tired of being too comfortable with your position of life right now, you're
Mm.
going to make a move that will change your life. And I think that's where a lot of people are being stuck, and you're so afraid to try. You have that negative thought about yourself and think you're not good enough. You think that you cannot make it. This is just you. You don't have that skills. You cannot achieve of being a nurse because you have one or two kids. You can never be a
Mm.
manager because you're from
Wow.
Africa. The people only favor themselves. While it's true that a lot of other Africans working in other places are being manager for those companies. It's just the fact that you are seeing, you have that fear. You don't want to
Right.
try before you fail.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're stuck. Let me just be here. I'm okay. This is just me. I don't have the degree. I don't have this qualification. So this is just me. You know, and this is why we have in this conversation that there is more in you. There's more you can achieve. There is more. You are so intelligent. You just have to see that in yourself. You can achieve it, and if you realize that, by tomorrow you're going to start researching stuff to advance yourself, and that brings you to a place of unlimitation. So instead of you being
Right.
limited in your growth, you're going to see yourself advancing. If you just see that, oh, I'm just afraid, I just have this feeling, this emotion that I can't do it. So now you're just there year in, year out. You just, every time you apply, you this high
Just
school
stuck.
graduates with no college, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just the
Right.
thought, it's the
Yeah, your
mindset, you know what
mindset.
I'm saying? It's not
Right.
like you cannot achieve it. You're in a country where you don't need money to go to school, or you sign up.
Right.
The government will pay, the government will pay back. You know what I'm saying? Start do something. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's an important point, brother. I
Oh
think that's
man,
something
I
that
think
somebody
you
out there
you
need to
nailed
hear,
it,
man.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
you nailed it. Honestly, I think you are already talking to a lot of people, and you're talking to a lot of us. To be honest, and let me just read up some comments real quick just before. Sandra said, "I had that experience with my first job. I was afraid to leave, but now that's the best decision I have made."
right,
And that's true.
right,
And many of
right,
us have that experience even with our first job. When we came here,
right.
your first job, you there, you good with you come to the
Making
environment,
money,
and
yeah.
right, you
Right,
making that
right.
paycheck, and you like, damn, I'm living a job right now, dying a job,
Yeah,
and and then at some point you get an opportunity where there is another job that is paying you good, that want to pay you good, or that that pays good, but because you are so used to that other
right,
environment, you are so used to that other setting, to that other job, and You get your crew, everybody clicking and stuff. You don't want to
Right,
leave that whole clique. And at the end of the day, you just, confine yourself in that environment and have that, that fear of making a move. And for sure, I mean, you said a lot of stuff, that really resonate with a lot of us. Many of us do have the passion to do certain things, but because of that fear, you know,
mm,
like again, like we said, the aftermath, like you overthinking things, like, you know, what will happen when I make this move?
right, right.
What will happen when I leave? Like I think there's a saying we get. We say, "Don't leave certain for uncertain," something like that. We can always say when we're scared to do something now. That's the time
Right,
we can be
right.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" We African we get so many ways of just making things easier for ourselves. We can say,
But
"Don't leave
Absolutely.
certain for
the
uncertain."
two other matter, Joseph, is not just African. You know what I'm saying? This is an international situation. It applies to all
Right?
humans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are people who were born in prosperity, but they are still limited. The point is how fear or failure can limit our growth. You know what I'm saying? If Because regardless of where you find
Yeah.
yourself, regardless of your background, regardless of your economic status, you can be limited. If you're afraid to make that move to achieve, your to achieve what you are actually made for. That thing that will make you happy. That thing that will make you enjoy life. Because that's success. No amount of money, can give you a particular success. Money will provide you the things you need on your everyday life, but it can give you the peace of mind and happiness, and enjoyment of life that you actually want. Some people, they just want to succeed and be
Yep.
popular. Some people don't want to be popular. They just want to build a
Yeah.
organization, a company. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that
Right.
desire is. Some
Right.
people just want to be a nurse. Some people they have that strong desire. I want to be a
Yeah.
nurse, but they're afraid to go through the study. So in every areas of life,
Yeah.
if you have fear limiting your thoughts of yourself, you're not going to grow. You're not. You're just going to be limited to
Yeah.
wherever you are and be stagnated in that position, and nothing going to happen. No matter how much help that's around you, you
Hmm.
better will be able to recognize this help, because you are so negative
Yeah.
about yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. If that invitation that you get,
Yeah.
that you're supposed to go, let me go over there and connect myself, you would think, oh, what am I going to do among those people? I don't have this. You'll find
Exactly. Yeah.
everything
That
to
negative
discourage yourself.
spiritism. Yeah. For
Instead
sure.
you can just go over
Hmm.
there and
For
connect,
sure.
and through that connection, there could be an opportunity for you. So the fear of failure can
Yep.
limit your growth immensely, because if you are afraid to
Yeah.
start, if you are afraid to move forward, if you are afraid and just thinking negative, you're never going to
Hmm.
grow.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yep. Let's hear from you, Alfred. What you have to say? Hmm. Man, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this.
Thank you, ladies, and gentlemen, for tuning in. I mean, if you do enjoy our show, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell every day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we bring you realistic thought. Like we always say, we are expert of our thoughts. We are expert of our experiences. We are speaking here to encourage our brothers and sisters who um, again, they are really our experiences. So, but yeah, everything that you guys said resonated with me very well. Um, you know, like our brother mentioned, yes, if you are afraid to try, you will definitely be limited. Therefore, it will hold your growth from progressing. You are not going to make progress. So the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going
Yeah.
to are you
Mm,
going to are you going to get out
mm,
like or are you going to get out of your comfort zone? But
right.
stay tuned, guys. We're going to be sharing a lot of tips here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're going to be sharing a lot of tips here. Again, there are our experiences, they are very, we understand that our experiences, ours is very factual, based. You can consider a subjective on how you perceive it, but we think that these are very proof, research proof, and you know, you can take from it, and hopefully that you can learn and get out of your comfort zone.
Yep. And let me just give some of these famous quotation real quick. A famous quote from Robert Kennedy. He said, "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." So uh, just have it in your mind that failure is inevitable. It's inevitable. It happens. It happens in life. No matter what it is. But beating your way around it, trying to focus on the positivity instead of the negativity, or the positive outcome instead of the negative outcome is what guarantee your success, or build in that resilience, that momentum for you to keep going. And another famous quote is said, the greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continuously fearing you will make one. So having it in your mind that I will make mistake. I will make mistake. Trust me, you're going to make it.
Mm,
Just erase it from your mind. If it happens, it happens. Because that's life. It's part of life. So you have to build that resiliences in yourself. Be resilient. Um, be purposeful. Like if you want to, like you guys said, if you have that passion to become a nurse, go into it. Start defeating yourself on the other stage that all our nursing note imagine how come
Juju,
especially so
Juju,
I don't love math because say I don't love math. How come go do engineering because I don't love math? You have to be defeating yourself.
yeah, Juju, let me not cut you off. But
Right,
let me just share my experience quickly in like 2 minutes. So after being out of high school for about close to 15 years plus, we decided to go back to school this year, and our first semester, and realizing that it was requirement course that I had to do math, and I'm
right,
like, wow, math. The first thing in my mind, I already defeat myself. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I was like, I went to escape the math. I went, I did the trial exam to see what I can pass and when I have to do that. But then I failed, and then I have to. Most I have to. So the first three quizzes that we took, I
Hmm.
couldn't even make 60. I'm telling
Wow.
you, I couldn't even make 60 in my mathematical stuff. And the following week, the teacher came and announced that if you have not passed the first three exam and quizzes,
Right.
just next week you have the right by so and so day to quit. You will not be charged.
They give you option already.
They give you options. So, it's up to you now. So the following the following day, the following week we came, bro. Honestly, half of the class quit. Yeah. And at the time I only have like the same day I have up to midnight, 12, 11:59 to go
Right.
up and quit that course and say I don't want to do this course. I'll just do it for next semester. And I sat down and
Hmm.
think about it. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to quit this course. But I'm telling you, half of the class, those students dropped. They never came back to that class.
Wow.
We're about when we started, we're about 30 something students, but we end up being 16. So half of the
Wow.
class dropped
Yeah.
from that course. And she's a
Hmm.
very amazing math teacher. So what did I decided to do? Instead of dropping that course, I doubled up my study time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I doubled up my study time. I would come home, spend in the night, in the morning, I put in up my study time, doing stuff, doing that math over and over, doing it, going online, researching. If I don't understand the problem, I go watch YouTube videos, come back, go, and then just like that. And as I pursue with double studies, bro, I realized at the end of the day, the last day of our final exam, I came third in that course, in that mathematics course. Because right there she
Wow.
did all the grades and said, don't leave until I tell you your grades and stuff like that. If I have quit it, I will still have to. I will still have to do that course, you know, and stuff like that. So what? Should I keep quitting? Or should I just be afraid and say, okay, because I don't know math, I am not going to pursue to learn and overcome this challenge I have ahead of me. So that's where the growth came in. You know what I'm saying? So now I
Yeah.
can boast of, mathematics, stuff, algebra, and all stuff I can do. You know what I'm saying? So instead of falling back and running away from that challenge, I face my challenge and I grow. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the
Change
day,
your
I was
mindset.
one of the students. I wrote down, I bought a thank you card and stuff like that. I wrote on it, I said, you
Mm.
won't believe this is my first time in school not to spy in a math test. And I did everything for my you know what I'm saying? And because I learned it, and I can go somewhere and believing that if I meet a math exam, I can, at that level, I know what to do. I know my stuff. I don't
Yeah,
have
right.
to try to cheat the test or whatever, because I have put
Mm.
myself in that position to learn, and I sacrifice the time and overcome my fear that I cannot do it. So now I
Right.
become a product of me not quitting, and I have
Yeah.
overcome my fear in that area.
Mm.
So that's the beauty of doing it, and just instead of saying no, I can do it at all, and just saying no, this is a
Right.
challenge. I don't have the ability to fix it. You have that ability. You just need to find the right tools that will help you to overcome. Because if you try it this way, it didn't work. You try it the same way, it didn't work. Why you keep trying it that way? Use another method,
Right.
and that's what a
Use
lot of
another
people
method,
get
right.
stuck. Use another
Yep.
method to achieve the same thing, and it's definitely going to work for
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. I mean, that was awesome. That was awesome. And we definitely have some tips. We are already started giving you guys some tips already. Um, but yeah, like we said, some of the tips that we have here, and like Sona just gave you guys another tip. Use another method, which obviously, is true because if you try to do something one way and it doesn't work, try another way because maybe that way or that method that you are using or that step that you are following is not yielding to a positive result. So
Right,
why can't you
right,
change your step? Change your dimension, change your mindset, change your method of doing it. And there are 10,000 ways of doing something, of achieving something, but you may not know until you try. You know what I'm saying? But again, let's go through some of these tips. The first tip we have here is shift your perspective. How can we overcome you know our fear of failure? How can we overcome it? And one of the tip we have here, or one of the tips we have here, is shift your perspective. So let's hear from you, Alfred. What do you have to say about this tip?
Um, Thank you. Just so you know, I would just use here because I can really discuss this topic without really talking entirely about uh the manufacturer manual, which is the Bible. You know,
Mm,
um, shaping your perspectives have to do with the way you think.
right,
Um, like we mentioned in our other episodes that when you were born, your parents, your educational system, and and the society, the culture shift, they form your belief system. They begin to form your belief system. So,
right,
if the scripture says in the book of Psalm 139, verse 13 to 16, that when you are born, when you are formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. All of your
yeah,
life has been written in the book, and it says in the book of Psalm 66 that I have tested you, right? That
mm,
you, oh Lord, have tested us, right? So the first question that comes to my mind when I'm reading the scriptures is, um, think about it as a manufacturer plant. How do Apple know that their phone can last maybe for certain amount of hours? Because they have tested it.
right,
No product, in other words, leave the manufacturing plant without it being tested. That's
Yep.
how they know. How do they know that their phone can make up? Because they have tested it. So if
Right.
the scripture says that God have tested us, that means He knows what we can take and He knows that what we cannot take. So if He say go for it, you know, and because we were formed into our culture that keep shifting that belief system on us, and then with self doubt, and then we say nah, I can't do this. Just like Moses, when God told him, he said, Moses, you're gonna be leader of about thousands of people, and everybody gonna steal your law. He kept doubting. He said, "You know me, like I
Right,
can,
right,
like you're not, you gotta be talking to someone else, not me, you know."
Right.
So it's like, in other words, there's a constant battle within ourselves, not just,
right.
and it's just
Right.
the battle of our belief system and our reality. So
Mm.
um, in good that we talk about this point of shaping our perspective. How do we shape our perspective from one on learning everything, like I keep saying, everything that we're taught, and to relearning new things, you
Right.
know,
Mm.
and to reform our belief system. And to everyone listening to this, to us here today, whether wherever you are, what, if you are not being valued in your life, and people don't really take you serious because of, they don't believe that you nothing good can come out of you. I'm here today to encourage you and say that you can make it, that whether you were born by mistake or not by mistake. First thing I want to say is that no human being, there is no such thing no a illegitimate child. You were born
Right.
because God have a plan that He wants to see done on earth. That's why we needed you here. So all you need to do
Mm.
is to join us in this process and to get started. If you have a doubt, please reach out to we us here, your friends, and we will help you. We encourage you to get started like we did. We every time
Yeah.
keep facing
Mm.
fear, but we desire to step out our comfort zone. So you can do it. You get this, and you can do it.
Wow. 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 That was
Beautiful.
awesome. Just before we go to you, Sunday, I just want to read off this comment from our editor, Elder Fuja. He says some people fear of failure because fear failure because of their pride. Hmm.
Mm, mm,
Pride. And
mm.
I never thought that. I never thought that until I saw the other comment. Wow. That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah. But let's hear from you, Sonny. What do you have to say of about this tape and also about what our editor just said? If you have anything to add to that.
Well, I
Hmm.
think Ella just brought up something important.
Yeah.
Because after pride is the fall of man.
Yep.
Remember the Bible says when the angel of God gathered and the devil came in and said, "Oh, I will ascend my throne above the throne of the Most High God. So I want
Mm-hmm.
to be the guy here. I want to be the leader."
The
You
buzz.
know, at that point in time, nothing had happened. What was happening at that point in time was pride. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The man who created you, you said you want to be above him. So at that point in time, it was pride. So what happened when that pride kicks in? There was no demon, there was no devil until pride kicks in. So when the
Right.
pride kicks in, that's when Lucifer became the devil. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So after
Right.
pride is a fall. So I think
Yeah.
that issue of pride, attached to fear and failure is a very important thing. A lot of people, oh, I don't want to do this. Some people just want to
Yeah.
go into something and succeed. They don't want to start.
Oh
For
yeah.
example,
Oh
you
yeah.
start a podcast and
Hmm.
you're expecting 2 days to get 5,000 views. You know
Exactly.
what I'm
Right.
saying? And you don't get a 5,000 views, now you're feeling bad by yourself.
Yeah.
And you like, oh, a
Hmm.
person like me, you know what I'm saying? I don't think this is for me and stuff like that. And you start to feel weird and you think that you're so popular out there and why you're doing podcasts and that. So the pride in you think that people, because you're doing podcasts, everybody have to tune in. and watch whatever you got going on. If
Exactly.
it's a self-inflated
Mm.
pride that will put you in that place to think different. But in shifting your perspective, that can also lead to shifting your perspective. How do you think about it?
Right.
The first thing for you to shift your perspective, it means that you already had a perspective.
Right.
You cannot
Right.
shift something that you didn't have. You already had a
Exactly.
perspective. That's why before you indulge into anything, you have to be able to do a case study, evaluate whatever it
Mm.
is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you come in
Right.
with a mindset of something that somebody told you or something that you
Mm.
saw another person going through. So you think that, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So whatever
Right.
you want to achieve, whatever you want to do, whatever your purpose is in this life, and you have certain mindset, you don't want to change, even though you see there is a means that you have to walk this way or do it like this so that it can work. You still say no, no, this is how I want to do it. This is how it's done. This is how I
Mm.
must do it. You know,
Right.
you're never really going to get there. You have to be willing to make the necessary change. Not something that will be evil or bad, but a necessary change in a good way that will help you develop. You get what I'm saying? And one
Right.
thing I want to put out there also in shifting your perspective, you have to remember the cost of not trying. You know what I'm saying? Remember the
Mm.
cost of not trying.
House.
Remember it
Yeah.
because it's going to cause a lot of delay. It's going to cause incompetency. It's going to cause an increase in self sabotage of yourself. That, oh yeah, you
Mm.
know you're going to remain in that position because 5 years ago you did not try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it will put you into that place, but that's where you have to get to that place and get up and say, you have to overcome your pride and your fear. And I'll just say this too, it relates back to the first time I went to orientation, at the college there. I went for a student orientation. Man, I didn't know whether the devil was testing me. Oh, yo, I went for this orientation, right? And it seemed that it had student orientation and also had parent orientation. So I was trying to find the building where the student was supposed to assemble. And I came across a group of people that are walking towards me. And I was like, excuse me, where's the student gathering? So the guy was leading the group. He said, oh, just, he directed me to the building. But while I was walking, the other parent came across me. He said, oh, what are you looking for? Oh, I said to him, oh, I'm looking for where the students are gathering. He said, oh, I thought you were a parent. Like, I look at my face, the man said, I thought you're a parent. You're looking for a student. So then I tell the guy, I said, sir, it's never too late. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
I tell you, he said, I thought like the man look at me say, yes, I know you're be in college. What you doing in college? So I thought you parent, So I look at the guy and say, what, sir, it's never too late. And
Right.
the first 2 weeks I was going to school, but I saw a lot of young kids were in my class. I was like, damn, I really want to do this. You know, I really, I had to question myself. You know what I'm saying? But I
Right.
said, okay, okay, I need to remember the cost of not even trying to do this. How much it's going to cost me? So I need to shift my perspective of my own pride. Nobody's telling me say I'm not qualified to go. So I should stop telling myself I'm not qualified. You get what I'm saying? So I had to shape my perspective in that time, in that moment, even though it came as a way of a challenge mentally, thinking about the situation. Oh, I have to say I'm a youngster. Oh, somebody think that I should be a parent instead of going back to school. You know what I'm saying? But in that period of time, I had to encourage myself to do it. And I could see the greater fruits of doing it instead of saying no, I don't need to because of what people will say or think about me. I think you need to shape a perspective because it's very costly. It's very costly if you just stick to that, even though it's not working. try to use other means, try to learn some things. Like Alfred said, if it get to that point for you to unlearn what you have been believing all your life is true, and you realize it's not true, unlearn that thing.
Yeah,
Unlearn it.
right. I'm
You know what
learning
I'm
it.
saying? That's the only way you have that space in your head. Unlearn
Yeah.
that thing. Say, oh, I believe that this is this all my life. But I'm coming to realization that no, you know,
Yeah.
this is not just all this. Something else is attached to it. And you have to
Right.
unlearn that and learn new things. Do it. Because all leads you to your place of success and prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. I mean, you guys are nailing it. To be honest, I don't even know what to say. But I would just say this. But instead of you thinking that you feel sometimes, like you said, you know, sometimes it's good to ask yourself, like, what can I learn from this thing? You know, and be cautious of what you try to get engaged in sometimes,
Right.
because you never know the outcome. So like you said, changing your perspective of what that thing will end up becoming, you know focusing on the positive outcome of it is a great tool to have as an individual. And
Mm,
you guys said a whole lot, and I mean, we all resonate with everything that you guys have said, and I think our audience also um you know agree with a lot of things that you guys have said here. And this is just a great tool that if we human, if we can have this, if we can kind of integrate this into our being, I think it will help us a lot to kind of see things at a different angle, you know, seeing things on a different side, and not just having a mindset that um this thing with I will feel in this thing, or but
mm,
a lot of people can even defeat ourselves. They get they can
right,
defeat
right,
ourselves before they even start anything. Like many of us,
right.
even for me, I personally sometimes you know there have been some time where I'll ask myself, yeah, this thing I want to do, it rather work, because sometimes you can be looking at difficulty, you be
Right,
looking at like
right.
how hard it is to do this thing. From that alone, like you can start questioning yourself, like, what, I can't waste my time in anything because I know anything without work. But change your mindset, change your perspective of that thing, because you never know, man. Not like we said, and we continue to say, n- you know, not because it did not work for somebody else, it means that it won't work for you. You know, you need to look on the positive side, think different.
Mhm.
You never know. Again, but stay tuned. We still got a lot of tips coming your way. Again, to our audience, if you are following us, again, this is the Jew and Fred Open Mic Podcast, and today we are discussing breaking from the fear of failure. Breaking from the fear of failure. This is our topic on the discussion, and we have with us our brother and friend who is a guest on the show today, Johanna Sunday. You know, is great to have this guy on the show today. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to have this guy, and I mean, you're gonna be seeing him more. Trust me, you're gonna be seeing this guy more and more on the show. Um, so stay tuned as we go along. We still have a lot of tips coming up your way. And again, we are very much respectful of your time. We are watching the time keenly, so we're gonna make sure that we stick within the time frame. So again, let's get back to this tip, man. Another big tip is here. Feel big. Wow. This one, this one is this one is very, very huge. um, I will start with some of this time around. And then
Yeah, just
afterwards, we will go.
before
Okay.
I
Yeah,
just I
go
just
ahead.
wanted
Okay.
to share a little experience on the previous topic before we can go to the next one, my last, right?
Okay.
Like for example, so when I first begin let's say start college and stuff, the first thing that I bought was recorder. Why did
Mhm.
I buy recorder? Is because that I was feared that I was not going to understand the professors and that they're going the way they talk fast, and I'm from Africa, I'm not gonna understand how they speak. So when I bought the recorder, I used it. I even went to the math teacher and some couple of teachers. I asked them, I said, okay, if I use the recorder, they said sure. It said I was like, oh, just simply on my chest, I want to. But I used it for the first 2 weeks, and I feel like I said this thing is giving me a lot of work, and I decided to put the recorder aside and to pay attention and just you know I had to
Yeah, yeah,
shift my perspective to be able to actually grasp what is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's for true. I mean, like I said, sometimes we can defeat ourselves before we even start something. Like you
Yeah.
already have in your mind that I won't understand anything that people gonna say. So to make it all too easy for myself, me come and record it. I'll be
Right,
recording it at the end of the day when I get home. But that was a smart move, Man,
right,
sometimes
right.
you gotta think on the alternative side too. You can make it easier for yourself.
They improvise.
But yeah, right, improvise, right? But yeah, let's discuss this one. As we observe time, Kingley. Again, stay tuned today. We have a lot coming your way. We are here again tomorrow and Sunday. For the biblical show on Sunday. So, um, let's hear from you Sunday. What do you have to say about feeling big as we discuss this topic, breaking free from the fear of failure?
First of all, let us understand the term feel big.
Hmm.
When you just go to somebody and say feel big, you might probably cause that person to have a heart attack. Who want to feel big? Nobody, nobody wants to feel big. But
Right,
I think feeling big is can be necessary.
right.
Feeling big can be necessary because feeling big means it means to embrace a large significance mistake or failure
Mhm.
as a learning opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To embrace large significant or failure as a learning opportunity. So most of the time, like who wants to fail? Nobody wants to fail. Absolutely
Yep.
nobody.
For sure.
You
Right.
know, because feeling hurts. Feeling is costly. It's very expensive to feel because one of the most important thing that you can never buy is time. If I can buy, if I can buy 5 years ago, I probably would buy 5 years ago, and I'll be much younger and try to work on some things that I made mistake about. You know what I'm saying? So feeling is very,
Right.
very expensive. Feeling big is like you making this mistake, a significant mistake, but also learning because every mistake has a learning. Every mistake. What did you learn from working from one job for
Mhm.
10 years? What did you learn? What did you achieve?
Hmm.
How did it benefit you? Or what did you learn when 3 years ago you decided to start a business? And how did you go about that business? How did you start? What was the move you made? What was the things you did? What caused the business to fail? You get what I'm saying? So feeling big means that
Yep.
you overcome your fear. Because that one thing. It means that okay, um,
Right.
instead of me sitting and
Mm.
doing nothing because I'm afraid, I'm going to
Yeah.
stop. So you can never feel anything that you did not start. You get what I'm saying? So when you feel big, it means that you have given yourself an opportunity to learn.
Mm.
But you should
Yeah.
also be in that position, and you should also be a person of understanding of the things that you make mistake of and what did you learn from the mistake. Because learning from a mistake, is something that a lot of time we don't pay attention to. You'll be surprised to see that people continue to make the same mistake over and over and over and again. They did not. A lot of people doesn't pay attention. Even some of us, we have made mistakes in life.
Yeah.
That we did. We made the same mistake two, three, four times. We did not pay attention to the things that the possible harm of those mistakes. And after a few years, you start to realize, oh, the mistake that I made 3 years ago is not affecting my life. You know what I'm saying? So, but you should also be willing to learn from the mistake. How
Mm-hmm.
it means that you also have to be able to evaluate and analyze the things that cause you to fail. How did you start it? How did you go about doing it? What was the investment strategy you used? How did you get people involved? Who were the people you work with? What were the things you were
Right.
afraid to try? How you did not manage this well? What was the thing you spent too much on? You know what I'm saying? But you have learned. So moving to your next step of life or whatever you want to do, you already have the idea of what and what not to do. You already have the idea
Yeah.
of what and what
Yeah.
not to do. But feeling big is something that a lot of time people get stuck and get and and and, and a lot of people mentally it affect them. A lot of people get affected mentally when they feel, oh, I want to achieve this. Oh my God, I put so much in this. I can't. And a lot of people, because of that situation, they can't move forward. But it should be considered a means of learning instead of falling
Yep.
to depression and anxiety and stuff like that. We should always learn from our mistakes. So I'll just stop there. If there's anything, I would chip in later.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, you share a lot of tips on this already. Let's hear from you, Alfred. What do you have to say about this? Feel big. Hmm.
I mean, he just nailed it on the head, man. Being able to self-reflect and to take away from what worked, what didn't work. Um, but really, from my perspective, I would, add on to what he said, which is um, budgeting the topic, which is the budget, the topic that were our topic for the whole discussion here. Why why to be able to break free from that failure. You understand that, and everyone should know this, that you will fail at some point of your lifetime. It's
Right.
not like to say, oh, being negative. It's just a reality that we went through. I went through it myself a lot. Right? It's not done yet, and I'm still looking forward to more. So it's like it it will happen. You got to accept it. Um,
Right.
but one quote I learned from Denzel Washington, he said that if you're not feel, you're not even trying. Right?
Mm,
Oh yeah.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're not feel, you're not even trying. So
true.
you gotta keep feeling to get it to in order for you to get it for you to get it right. The last time I listened to Elon Musk, he had failed twice and they had like one more opportunity and they asked him, they said that what will happen if you try the last chance that you have put all of your money in, and you failed, and what will happen? He said that would have been it. That would have been done by then. And then he said, did you even think about, withdrawing after you failed twice? He said, no, I never give up.
Hmm.
Mm,
So it's like, and guess what? He said what the first deal that he got was with NASA. With NASA after after a few other time was $1 billion contract. After a few other time of failing two times, and then the last time when they invested their whole money in, and they get it right. That was it. But the point is, we need to take this to take our best shot. We need to take our shot. Not like, oh, having a backup plan, or let's say plan B, right? Having plan B. Um, If plan A don't work, you start another plan A.
Exactly right.
Right.
I would say if plan A don't work, because guess what? If you have plan A and a plan B, you're gonna end up using plan B. So
Mm.
Yeah.
so
A lot of people
so
forgot. A lot of people even forgot on the plan B, then even the plan A.
right. So you put everything into the plan A. Put your minds into A, your
Yeah.
focus and your investment, everything into A. If it don't work, you find another plan A. And the bottom line is don't stay don't stay to one place for a long time. Except be able to assess and see whatever that don't work and what works, so that you can be
Right.
able to change environment and be able to grow and improve and move on, and instead of staying to one place and trying one mentor every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
I
good
mean,
Yeah.
point.
absolutely, absolutely. And just a typical example, right? Um, the guy that founded Apple, Steve Jobs. Yeah, Steve Jobs. Imagine you establishing a company. This guy founded Apple. At the end of the day, Apple fired him for his own company that he funded. So imagine you in that type of situation, something that you started from grassroots, only because of some dissatisfaction or disagreement, your both fire you from your own company that you started. Imagine that. But guess what? It never stopped there. He never stopped there. He never gave up. He never felt, even though it was disappointing, it was downhearting. But guess what? He went about, you know, or establishing other companies, other products. And at the end of the day, Apple could not function, could not market successfully without him being in the company. They end
Mm.
up bringing him back. And today, what is Apple? Apple is one of the biggest brand in the world successfully, and we all can attest to it. So
I think it's the number one tech brand for me.
100%. I mean, who don't want to use Apple, man? Come on, who who don't want to use iPhone? Who don't want to use Apple computer? Everybody going for it.
It's just the
But
brand, bro.
you
Everybody
know,
go crazy for iPhone.
so you see, imagine experiencing that type of disappointment. So, like you guys said, your failure should not be your stopping point. You know, persevere. Like we always say, I always use the word be resilient. Keep pushing. Don't look at the word failure to be obstacle. And that's what many people do. You know, embrace failure. Again, like we said,
Hmm.
failure is inevitable. You just cannot get rid of it, man. It's inevitable.
Right.
It's it's like a I don't there's a word we say inborn tendency. Is built within. It's part of life. To be honest, it's part of life. You know, so some people say, but why should I embrace failure? Embrace failure because it's part of life. You know,
Yes.
and it doesn't mean that because you fail in doing this thing, that means you are done with it. No, keep doing it, keep persevering. Like everybody say on this call, um, find another way to do it. Maybe this method doesn't work, another means gonna work. So there should always be another way of doing something. There are some of us when we try something one time, we try it twice, bro. I'm done. I ain't going on that thing again. Like typical someone came for the driving stuff. Like some people that go for that driving test, they fail once, they fail twice, they fail a third time. They say, you know what, driving not for me. I'd rather be booking my Uber or I'll be calling for a ride. I ain't gonna be wasting my time. But trust me, you don't even know the fourth, fifth, or sixth time what will be the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So keep trying and keep doing what you're supposed to do to make it work best. So I think we have heard a lot of tips. Um, let's hear some comment. From our viewers and our audience. One of our audience, Gloria said, nothing is too late when you put your mind to doing it. Just take the first step, and everything else will fall in place without you ever noticing. Mm, wow, that's deep. That's deep. And another one from Zendaya. A lot of people fear of failure because of the fear of judgment. Yeah. Which
Mm.
which I mean, which we said here earlier, the fear of judgment. you know. And one of our audience said that fear comes, and I think that's from Sam. He said fear comes when we start to look at the cost. Yeah, you know, we look at the cost and effect, like you look at the outcome of it already before even starting
Right.
it.
but
And
just
lastly,
I
yeah,
think what's it? I think Jordan said it that see the comment that you read looking at the cost, and and Jordan said that yes, looking at the cost, but also not trying it more. It's more costly than even
right.
than even staying at it, right? Like
But yeah, but not trying at all. Yeah,
let
for sure.
right, let your food finish from the fridge, and you haven't gone to take your driving test, you let your phone finish from the fridge, and no Uber or no Lyft, and see what's going to happen.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
All right,
but not
guys.
trying
So
is more costly. So thank you.
yeah, not trying at all is costly. So it better you try than to not try. You know. So let's look at our next tip, and then we're gonna be wrapping things up shortly.
Yeah.
So here we say have faith in the journey. Um, I know this one is more relating. And I mean everything else we've been saying here today is more relating. But let's talk about this a little bit, and then we're gonna look at our last tip and wrap things up. I know our audience is loving the show. We are loving the show. We can spend the whole day discussing this topic today, and I mean because this is something that relates to every one of us. And I mean
Right.
I can
Right.
see the comments is coming, and everybody's, so I mean, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But let me hear from you guys. Let me hear from you, Sunday, and then Alpha will come in last. What do you have to say about this? Have faith in the journey. Hmm.
I
Let's hear
mean,
from you.
faith is a tools of life that help us to balance ourselves in every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I will relate to the Bible because I'm a Christian. I know we might have other belief audience, with other religious belief. But we Christian, we believe that faith is an evidence of things hoped for. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like usually, physically, worldwide, we believe that for something to be believed, there should be a physical evidence. But in the aspect of faith, believing is something that is not physically seen. It's not even there at all.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's not even there. It's not. You can't. There's nothing to prove that is ever going to
Right.
happen. But you is an inner gigantic uh mental spiritual um evidence that you have just within yourself that
Right.
this is possible. So
Hmm.
achieving success, overcoming fear, overcoming your failure, faith is required. Faith is the driving force that's going to keep you going. Because to be honest with you, there will be moment, there will be time you will want to give up. Because everything surrounding what you're trying to achieve, all you're going to see is, I can't do this anymore. There is no hope. In fact, I'm not even getting the support that I need to have the next stage of this thing done. So, in that area of trying to achieve, that's where your faith is going to be applied. Even though I don't see it happening, they have a song that says, even when you don't see it happening, you know, you have to keep trusting God. Even though you don't have the evidence, even though it had never happened before. For instance, I think one of you mentioned about the guy Elon Musk. We have never seen an electric car to walk around the street and all of that. When Elon Musk came out and said, I'm going to make sure this is possible, a lot of people doubted him. The other people who did not doubt him, he said he had another agenda. In fact, this is risky. I will never buy an electric car in my life. I don't trust it. A lot of people had things to say about that. But Elon Musk was so focused that today it is no longer a futuristic statement. It's happening now. A lot of people now own um electric cars. This is somebody who firstly believed that it was possible, even though he did not have evidence of this thing ever happening. But he believed that this could have been possible. So yet he had the mindset to create a car that would not need gasoline, but he firstly to achieve that what he needed, not just money, but he had to believe that it was possible. And that's where faith comes in. Faith is required in every journey of our life, our Christian life, our religious and spiritual, physical life, our educational life, our our business job. You need to apply faith because faith is that, like I said, is the driving force. Because there will be many days and nights you would not see anything to make you believe that you can achieve being a manager of that company. But you need faith to drive that
Right.
inspiration that is within you to say, yeah, it's possible. I can do this. I can achieve it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Mm.
you're the only black guy among all your white friends. Yes, it's still possible. Oh, you're the only white guy among all your black friends. Yes, it is still possible. Oh, you're the only African, living in a white community. Yes, it is still possible. You know what I'm saying? Even this
Right.
will happen because I'm black. Yes, it is still possible. But all of the rhetoric of what has happened in the past, whatever your purpose is in life, whatever God has destined you to be, you can become that person. Whatever desire that you have and things you want to achieve, you can achieve it. You need that little thing they call faith. And Jesus one time said to his disciples,
Right.
he said, if your faith can be as small as a mustard seed, he's not saying big. If you see how small mustard seed is, it's like a chip, very small, smaller than a rice grain. He said, if your faith can be as
Yep.
small as that, you can achieve this. And that put me back to a quick story I was just talking about my personal life. When I was growing up, my mom never really had money to send me to school because she was a single mother. So there was a point in time that I was in this school from ABC up to 10th grade. And when I got to 10th grade, I went to my mom and I was in the school, I think for 6th grade up to 10th grade, I was on scholarship because I used to play for the church. So they put me on scholarship because I used to play the drum and stuff like that. So my mother didn't have to pay school fees. So all she had to focus on my accessories, the things that I would need for school. Well, single mother, have other kids, I my siblings,
Right.
couldn't really provide for us that much. And now coming up to tell a woman like that I want to go to a school that will cost her almost 10,000 Liberian dollars. At the time, it was not something that she could afford. And I knew it. And but I really
Yeah.
wanted to. I wanted to go and try another school. For my whole life, I've been in this school, and I want to go to another school to learn other things like politics and just to advance myself and associate with different administration and see how things are run. And and just create another environment for myself before I get out of high school. So when I told my mother, she told me, she said, I can't afford this money. You know it, I can't afford this. So I don't know where you're coming from with that, but I don't think it's possible. I said it's possible. And very young, I was still a teenager. I went home and I decided to pray from in the morning to 12, right? Guess what I'm praying for? To go to another school. That's what I'm praying for, right? And in as much that doesn't seem big of an achievement, but at that point in time of my life, I saw that as an achievement. So I actually went and fasted from in the morning to 12. And I just
Right.
prayed and somehow I bumped into the scripture that says something about the mustard seed. And I started to pray and I asked God, I said, God, this I believe is possible. 3 weeks later, school about to open. I don't even have a uniform because my mom is not even trying to send me to that school because she already told me. And so one of my friends who I knew were attending that school, I actually went to him. I said, "Oh, I knew you were in this school last year. Can you borrow me your uniform, your old uniform, the one you're not using?" He said, "Oh yeah, of course." They just said I'm not using it. I got all my fresh new stuff already. Why am I going to do an old uniform? I said, "I need it." And you won't believe I had to use somebody
Wow.
old uniform that the person used. This guy used that uniform for a whole year. Like people, you got one uniform, that's it, from Monday to Friday. And I had to ask for that guy old uniform. And I went to my mom. I said, "You know what? I have a uniform. You don't have to buy me a uniform anymore." What I was doing is putting faith in action to achieve. Faith is required in the journey. That's the point. And to my ultimate
Right.
surprise, someone somehow
Right.
God blessed my mother, and she was able to provide me $3,000 to go and pay for my first installment at the school. And just within that time, I gained a scholarship from an organization. Just the fact that somebody knew me, they said, "Oh, we have this scholarship coming up," and I just thought about you. Because I know you're a cool guy and stuff like that. We're gonna add you to this. You're gonna have a book bag. We're gonna pay your school fee for the whole year. You don't have to worry about that. I said, "What? Do you know what you're talking about?" And this organization paid my school fees from 10th grade to 12th grade. And not just that, every year I was receiving books and bags from this organization while I was in school. And now, what am I saying this? I knew that there was nothing physical to point out and say, yes, my mother is able to send me to whatever school I wanted to go. And I knew that even the school I was choosing, she did not have the
Right.
physical ability to send me to that school. But what I had in that journey was faith. And I was
Hmm.
surprised to see that my belief system took me to that school and I achieved being the president of that institution. What are we talking about here? I achieved something I did not even perceive because instead of quitting, looking at the
Wow.
negative part of the situation that
Hmm.
my mother is not able to send me to that school, I was very positive. And that burden, that financial burden that should have been on my mother, an organization, an NGO came and took it away. And now she didn't even have to worry about paying my school fees. But yet I achieved that I wanted to go to another school. This is how
Hmm.
important faith is. This is how important faith is in whatever situation we
Yeah.
are trying to achieve. I just, leave you guys with the story, and maybe I'll one or two, for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I mean, let's hear from you, Alfred.
So yeah, that was powerful, man. That was powerful to share to hear you share. Having faith in the journey is important. Just like we keep saying it, that every person here, have some kind of the belief system, and you gotta shift your mindset a little bit. But this one here that our brother share, guys, we can actually learn from it and apply it to our life. We can even start today. Let's understand that faith is the same as vision. Faith is the same as vision.
Hmm.
Whenever you have a vision, if you focus your mind. See, when Bill Gates, discovered this thing about Microsoft here, he took it to the board. He used to work in IBM. Okay, he took it to the board, and they said it would never work. He said, "Okay, fine." He resigned from IBM. Today, we all know, now we the rest is history. But the point is, faith is the
Yep.
same as vision. Whenever you see your end, it's over. Whenever God show you that, guys, do not doubt it. It's over. Just start working in that process of accomplishing it. So And having
Mm.
when I was really studying this year, faith, having faith in the journey, I think of it as, and relating it to vision. The only animal on earth period that have the vision is eagle. One characteristic of eagle that I always study is that what is its ability to see things like but far more in details. And whenever it sees a prey, it dives like a bullet. No matter what stone, no matter what stones come in, it will dive into that stone. It will never take the eye on a target until it strike. So all we're saying here, relating it to this topic, yeah, no matter what, no matter what impossibility that someone tell you, no matter something impossible that you envision in your mind, no matter what fear you face, whatever you decide to go for something, go for it. Go for it. That's
Yeah.
your end. You don't know what I think will what the result I think will generate. So if it costs you resigning from whatever it is, if you know for sure you believe that thing can change your life for the better, do it. You know, I mean, you will pay cost, of course, but you gotta
Mm.
get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have said a whole lot. You guys have said it. You guys have said it all. Um, I think just I'll just give a real life scenario. Where I kind of applied faith in something that I did. Um, I think yeah, that was when we first came to the U.S. We were living in Texas, and I mean we had a very wonderful family. Honestly, we had a very wonderful family. We had a beautiful family. Everything was okay. But Texas is a kind of place where at that time, we were new to the environment, and we're trying to get ourselves started, put our feet on the ground to start doing things. And how something happened, something interplay, and I don't want to go way into that story, but we decided to move to Jersey. And I was just at the point where I was like, this is a very big decision to make, to be honest. I mean, where we at, everything is okay. Everything is going good. Um, and you know, now looking at this situation now to take this type of step, you know, of going back to Jersey, like to get started all over. But you know, as time go by and as team play in, decision had to be made, and
Right.
we never knew that whether moving to Jersey at that time was the best decision or not. But just by us being able to, take that leap of faith
Mm. Mm.
today, we can both God has been faithful.
Man.
You know, um, see the amount of friends we have, see the amount of support we are receiving, the level of family we have been able to get to support us, friends that have been able to, you know, wrap hands around us to support us. And then I was just, this my birthday, I was thinking, I was like, so that means if we're not gonna make up that decision, or if, I as a person, as an individual was not gonna make up that decision to move back to Jersey, that means I was not even gonna know the amount of people that I know today, you know, and I was not gonna be in the kind of environment that I'm in today, getting the amount of support that I'm getting today. So, sometimes you might be at a crucial point in life where you want to take certain decision, you want to make certain step, you want to take certain step, you want to, make up your mind on something, but you are at a crucial point where you kind of judging yourself, whether you should do it or not. And sometimes, like we have been saying from the beginning, you have that fear of what will people say about me if I do this. And I was one person in that situation that I was like, what would what would at that time now, like our family we were with, I was like, what would our family say? Like, everything is okay here. Like I mean, honestly, everything was fine. Like we were okay. Texas was beautiful, and Texas is beautiful, man. To be honest, and I was like, I'm someone that don't really love to disappoint people. I don't know, for some reason, I beat myself down to the ground when it comes to disappointing people.
Mm.
And I was always asking myself, what would our family think? What would this family think about us? They are beautiful people. They have done so much for us, but now we have to make this decision to go back to Jersey and stuff like that. But today, yeah, we are. The level of connection, the level of family ship that we have built, even with our family back, in Texas, is great. And we have gotten so much support and love from them, and even here in Jersey, see the level of friendship we have been able to acquire, man. See that a lot of people have ballooned so far. You know what I'm saying? To make up our mind to take that decision. How was thing gonna be like? You know what I'm saying? So again, sometimes you have to have faith in yourself. You know, having faith in yourself, and that's what the Bible said. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Because you don't
Yeah.
see it, you don't see what the aftermath will be, but you believe in yourself. You have that faith, that tendency, that mindset, you know, that encouragement that if I do this, it's gonna work out regardless. So just sometimes just encourage yourself. Just develop that little faith within yourself that if I'm going into this business, it's gonna succeed.
Mm.
I want to go back to school. I believe when I start, I'm gonna finish it, bro. Sometimes if you rather like for someone all that graduated from high school, like my brother was saying, 15 years. You know what I mean? To just sit down and make up that decision to say I want to go back, it
Right.
takes so much boldness, and it takes a lot of faith within yourself that you want to start this and you want to finish it. Bro, to do 4 years in this country is cool. Oh my god. It can be that left turn. It can be that
Yeah.
left turn, man. It
Oh
is
yeah.
challenging, to be
Very
honest.
challenging.
But you need to believe in yourself. You need to have faith within yourself. Yeah. You know, and
Very
you might
challenging.
want to start that new business. You might want to start that new career. You might want to move to that new state. Anything for that matter that you want to do. Just have that little faith within yourself. Listen, failure gonna happen regardless. Fear will come in regardless because once we are human, like we said, fear is an emotion, so it will kick in. You can't stop it, but have a
Right.
little faith within yourself that what I want to do or what I'm getting into, I'm gonna succeed and have that positive mindset. So I mean, we have been saying a whole lot. And I mean, but this topic is just so unique, and I think our audience are following and they are tapping into this discussion, and it is very, very, very much encouraging. So lastly, just before we wrap up, this will be the last point for today. Um, the last tip we're gonna give, and then we're gonna wrap things up from here. And again, we want to say thank you to our audience for tuning in and staying tuned in up to this time. Again, this is the Jew and Fair Open Map podcast, and we bring you live discussion every Friday and Saturday beginning 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we are here Sunday as well, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we're gonna have an evening show on Sunday also, beginning next week. So stay tuned, and we're gonna give you more information. So let's wrap up this last tip for today, and let me hear from you, Alfred. What do you have to say about comfort zone?
Can hear
Oh,
you,
you're on
Alfred.
mute, Alfred. Sorry.
Get it? Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yeah, we
Can
can
you
hear
guys
you
hear
now,
me?
Alfred. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so getting out of the comfort zone at this point can be considered as a cliche because we have heard it many times. But this this is so important, to everyone, even me and everyone here, or everyone who's watching. People today don't want to, like you mentioned, right? If you guys wouldn't have got, get out of that space, you wouldn't have seen what was it's not a bad environment. It's just that you got to explore more, um some to be able to, I think it's a life situations, you know you can't be comfortable. Being comfortable is a death zone. It's very dangerous. um so it's most of the time, like, and before you accomplish anything, the first thing I step in, sometimes even if you accomplish it, never feel satisfied. You always want to get more, always want to get more, and almost want to get more and explore more. I think most people refuse to get out of their comfort zone because of one thing. I think one, the fear of walking alone. So if you know like if you guys, the perspective you guys were forming was that, you know maybe they might, I don't want to disappoint and all of that, but I think um it's important in life that if it costs you to walk alone through the path, is very much necessary to do. um because you never know what's waiting for you out there. And plus, forming forming friends that forming the support system that will encourage you to push you towards your dream and goal, whatever you're trying to achieve, is very necessary. That will help you to get out of your comfort zone. And friends that will believe in your dream, believe in you, and say, go whatever you want to achieve. You got this. I believe in you. Is very important.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. You cannot be comfortable in your comfort zone. I really love that. But yeah, let's hear from you, Sunday. Let's hear from you. What you have to say about comfort zone.
Well, to quickly wrap up, getting out of your comfort zone as it relates to breaking, because this is our topic for today, breaking free from um from the fear of failure. Yes, breaking free from the fear of failure, and getting out of your comfort zone is somehow relatable. If you look at your comfort zone and breaking free, it's almost the same thing. It's the same, like, oh, okay, I've been here, I've been settled, I've been here, I've been too okay, I'm fine, I'm okay, what I'm at, this is just me, this is who I am, this is my life now, you know. Um, I can't be this person, this is just
Right.
me. I'm okay like this. I don't like people, I don't, most of the time when you talk about getting out of your comfort zone, a lot of people, think about explorations, you know, and basically some people when thinking about explorations, they think about knowing people and knowing things. You don't necessarily have to know a lot of people to succeed. You get what I mean? You just need to know the relevant people to be able to get to that place that matter the most or do the things that matters the most. So breaking out of your comfort zone, I want to leave us with three tips. Three
Right.
tips to break out of our comfort zone. Number one is for us to be honest to ourselves and identify the things that are holding us down. That's a one thing we need to do. Have that honest conversation with ourselves. Am I lazy?
Hmm.
I don't just like am I just don't like people? Or am I just too cheap? Or
Hmm.
have that whatever it is that you think could be a necessary issue to the reason why you are afraid to move forward. First thing you want to do, have that conversation with yourself. Because at the end of the day, why we are having this conversation here is for us to know how to break free from the fear that we have to succeed and that causing us to fail. So one thing we want to do is to break out of our comfort zone. And to break out of our comfort zone, we need to have our honest conversation with ourselves. Evaluate yourself. What is keeping you in that position? What's happening? What are some of the things? What are some of the things you are afraid of doing? You know. And then the second thing you also want to do is give yourself permission to fail. I'll be honest. Give yourself permission to fail. This is something that a lot of time is very difficult to do and to accept. You know what it means to go out there and try to do your best, and it feels like you're a failure. You know what I'm saying? But you have to give yourself that permission that no matter what, even if I fail, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to learn from whatever mistakes that I made. Failure is just a mistake. It doesn't define who you are. It's a necessary mistakes to help you improve. Give yourself permission. And then the third thing I want us to leave with, there are so many tips, but the third thing I want us to leave us with is um break down unmanageable skills. Something you want to do, learn to break that skill down into a way that's suitable for you to achieve. You know what I'm saying? For example, you go into school, you want to pass this subject, and it's so hard, you can't achieve it. Break a study time down. Don't go and do too much. If you have to drop some working hours, if you have to, whatever the situation, try to break it down in a way you can manage your life. Don't overwhelm yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you gotta live. You gotta live for
Right.
yourself and the people that depends on you. You want to live. So try to break whatever responsibility that comes along in a manageable way that you
Right.
can manage your skills and improve. Because one thing for you to go to school, another thing for you to learn, study, and remember this stuff. Because if you trick yourself with two, three, four, five jobs and you go into school, you don't have time to study. Your brain will barely remember the things you're being taught. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be able to manage yourself. But the matter of all is getting out of the comfort zone. The three tips will help because the first thing is you're already comfortable, you're already in that
Right.
place. How can you get out of it? That's the point here. You know what I'm saying? Have that conversation. Number one, like I said, have that conversation with yourself.
Right.
Evaluate yourself. Evaluate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there are other things you can do, like meeting people you trust. I wish, of course, we don't have time. I don't want to go into all of that. But the first three things is it's okay to fail. Have a conversation with yourself, evaluate yourself. Number two, why it's okay to fail. It's okay. It doesn't mean you should remain there. It's just okay to fail. Means that it is a learning opportunity for you. Take it as a learning opportunity instead of seeing it as a means to define who you are. No, it's not a means to define who you are. Keep going, keep trying. And the third thing is break down whatever schedule, manage your life in a proper way. Break your schedule down into a manageable way that you can work out things and achieve whatever you want to achieve in this life. Thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, just to let you hear you in your last piece, and so that we can wrap it up for on this. I mean, that was very phenomenal, and the point share was very great. So, just to was it let you hear your last point?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have said it all, man. You know, get out of your comfort zone. Don't feel comfortable being in that one spot over and over. Um, just like we shared here earlier, so get out there, do something. Don't be afraid um to fail. You know, once you never try something, you never know the outcome of it. So try. Even if you try the first time it doesn't work, try again. Listen, Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times just
One
to
thousand or ten
manufacture
thousand.
or to build a light bulb. 10,000, bro. 10,000. One with
Wow.
four zeros time. And the 10,001 was the time
Wow.
that, he became successful in producing that product. So, you know, even if even if you fail, if you fail over and over and over and over, keep doing it, keep trying, keep trying, because you will never know, what will be the aftermath of that thing. So get
Mm.
out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, like our brother said, sometimes you need to identify what is holding you in that area. You know, because some of us feel comfortable just being on our couch, man, watching TV 24/7. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with watching TV, but come on, if you're gonna
Nothing
keep
wrong.
watching TV
Yeah.
from January to December, then tell me now, that's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
wrong now. Yeah, from January to December, you're on our couch. In our couch, I will get very well, until you say, you know what, my man, get up, and go do something else. You know, so don't feel comfortable being in your comfort zone because you never know. Just like I share my story, even though everything
Mm.
was okay, but at the end of the day, decision had to be made. And today,
Right.
here we
Right.
are. You know, I know a whole lot of people now that I didn't even know if I was not going to take that decision, if I was going to know them today. You know what I'm saying? But life has its own way of, bringing things around, or turning things around. You never know um the outcome of anything. So if you want to start that new job and you're feeling tired, you're feeling weak about it, thinking that when you started, because you know, when let me just say this real quick and then we'll wrap it up, okay? When I first came in this country, everybody was like, Amazon job is the hardest job you can ever do in America. Don't work at Amazon. Don't work at Amazon. I mean, even up to today, people still have this, they still have that stereotype going around saying
Right. Right.
Amazon job. But when I started working at Amazon, bro, it was totally different. In 6 months, I became a manager. And when I started to tell people, oh, you can have better Amazon, oh no, I ain't gonna Amazon. Amazon job is hard. I'm like, I don't know who really telling you guys that Amazon job is hard out there. I think it depends where you work. And for
Right.
sure,
Right.
it depends where you work. Because where I was working, bro, it was easy. And everybody that I recommended up to today's date to work at that building can testify to say, oh, yes, Jesus, this building that you recommended was the best Amazon building I ever worked at, even up to today's date. And that alone make me, I had so many promotions and promotion in that building until I even left and went to another building, you know. So sometimes don't be afraid. I know somebody will tell you, say, oh, that job you want to start, oh, you're not qualified for that job. Or when you start that job, you're not even better to stay long in it because the people can make you work. Bro, go there, see it, try it out yourself. It might be different for you. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You want to start that new career, but you have it in your mind that I don't have the skill to start it. I don't have the time to do it. I don't have this. I don't have that. Just make us step. Start small. A lot of us want to jump into doing things big. And I think we shared that in our past episode. Learn to start small. They say a thousand miles begin with a what? Single step. 1,000 miles begin with a single step. So take that step. You never know where it's gonna take you tomorrow. So we're gonna wrap it up for today. It was a great session. I want to thank you guys so much for sharing your stories. Um, for discussing this topic on how we can overcome failure. And thank you for all the awesome tips that you guys gave our audience. And again, if this episode resonates with you, please share it with somebody out there. Share it with your friends, your family, wherever you are watching, and let somebody see this episode because maybe this might not be for you; it might be for somebody else. And we're gonna have a lot of awesome, conversation coming up. Our next episodes to come. So please, you know, share in the please comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this topic that we discussed today. Um, we will be glad to read some of your comments out. During our next episodes. Um, comes tomorrow and as time to come. And also, we want to encourage you to please share, like, and subscribe to our Facebook channel, YouTube, and Instagram. And we are also on TikTok, even though we have a TikTok, we don't want to go into that. As long as TikTok say, oh, but we still be using TikTok in the meantime. So please
And
share, subscribe, and stay tuned. Go ahead, Alfred.
yeah, just to wrap up, yeah, 30 seconds. So it's um one very, like, what's it called? What one which what Jim was sharing, right? He mentioned a lot of the thing. Be honest with yourself is very vital, very important to be honest with yourself. Um, because you know yourself better than anybody. That's for sure. You know yourself better than
Yeah,
anybody do. So yeah, so be honest with yourself. And last important thing I want to share, as a Christian, right? So we understand that, um, one, being in your comfort zone. If you the fear of failure, you will feel in your comfort zone. That's number one. And then two, um, success. If you decide to attempt success, if you don't want to fail, please don't attempt it, because it's very
yeah,
uncomfortable thing to attempt. You will be very
yeah,
uncomfortable. And then three, one of the wisest king and the richest king ever lived shared this with us. He said, "Sow your seed," in Ecclesiastes 11:6. He said, "Sow your seed in the morning, and in the evening, let it not your hand be idle, for you don't know which one will succeed, either this one or that one or both." So
yeah,
I think I think most people, if just go to work, basically he's saying go to your job and then come back, focus on your work. So let's understand it too. We'll get into that in the future episode. Your work is your job is what you are paid to do. Your work
yeah.
is what you are born to do.
A born to
So
do right.
if you go to your job, come back in the evening, focus on your work. What's your gift? What were you born to do? Have you identified what you are born to do? So it's everyone that is watching out there, we encourage you guys. We will stand by your side, as not um to give you any kind of financial assistance, of course, but if they need be, we will. However, we will to be that brother keeper there, to push you, right? Anything you try to be that by your side, to push you. If you we're just sharing this so that other people can have that um, encouragement to step out and take risks, do something. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember the fear of failure is normal, okay? Don't let it control you. That's all I'm gonna say at this point. But let's get a parting statement from everyone. Um Sona, it was great having you on the show today. Honestly, um to be real, we really appreciate you being here today. So let's hear from you what you have to say last to our audience as we part and wrap things up from now.
Man, open mic. I want to say you guys keep doing your thing, man. Juicy and Afro, you guys are, phenomenal individuals. You have started small. Don't give up. Be an example of this topic we are discussing today. Um,
Right.
you guys just keep doing what you're doing. invite, guests. But first, I want to really thank you guys for the opportunity to have me here, and to share whatever I've experienced with your audience out there, and I know that you guys are going to go far. And I just want to thank you, and don't give up. Keep doing your best. Keep trying new, topics, whatever means, like we said, just keep praying, have the faith, and keep doing the best you can. Don't change for anybody. Change when it's necessary to change, and improvise when it's necessary to improvise. But thank you overall for today and for the topic, for discussion. I want to appreciate you guys for everything, and sharing your platform with me. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, it was great having you here too as well. You know, even though the notice came in very short, but you honor it, and I mean, you are a man of great, very, great virtue and passion, also for the community. And this is a community-based podcast, so feel free anytime. Let us know your availability, and we will be glad to have you here. I know the audience want to see you again on the show. I'm very,
All
very
right.
sure they want to see you again. So, and again, this platform is here for you. You are welcome to to be here anytime. Just let us know, and we'll be glad to have you here. So thank
Thank
you
you.
for checking in with us today, and we really appreciate every tips, every comments that you gave out there to our audience, every word of encouragement you gave to our audience. I believe something you said out there really, touch someone, and we hope for more and more to come. So again, let's hear from you, Alfred, as we wrap up this conversation for today.
Yeah, um thank our guests for coming today. We appreciate it. Every point resonated enough with not with me, and I believe with everyone out there who's watching. Someone needs this. That's for sure.
All right.
Someone needs this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we decided both of us to take this post step, because first thing we got to understand, to me and to everyone who's watching, your life is a serious thing. Your life is not a game. It's a serious thing. So we did this, because like we understand that our life was a serious thing, and we still battling with some of these things that we're telling you, but we, by the grace of God, have breakthrough from it, and we share our experience. It might be funny, but it's a serious thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of things we are sharing here is just our experience. We are not expert, we are not professionals. But they say experience is a great teacher. So,
All
um,
right.
you know, we hope that this topic really resonated with you guys out there. We appreciate you guys tuning into us into this live podcast today. Um, Again, this is Jew and Fred Open Map Podcast. Let us know what you have to say, or what is your saying about this topic on a discussion. This is episode 4. Tune in for episode 5 tomorrow, 9 a.m. live. And hopefully we can get our juniors back on the call tomorrow to share again, the awesome topic for tomorrow. But we will let you know. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and we're gonna keep you guys posted on episode 5 for tomorrow, so you can know what the topic on our discussion. But with that, we want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming in today. Thank you, Sunday. Thank you, Alfred. I'm your host, Jusu, and Alfred is the co-host for the show, and Sunday is our guest for today. So thank you all, and we're gonna see you again tomorrow, 9 a.m. live on this podcast. So have a great day, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and bye bye.